help keep them in the game to some degree. They want to make sure they're finished their defense with the board. Offensively, continue to take care of the ball and continue to be aggressive.
Well, aggressiveness was the central point of Dallas's attack in the first half, because through stops on the defensive end of the floor, they were able to accelerate the tempo and score 20 fast break points. Josh Howard didn't even draw iron. Mehmet Okur there for the rebound. The Mavericks have led by as many as 14 points in this game. Their lead right now is half that. Kirilenko. That's another former All-Star. He represented the Jazz in the 2004 All-Star game. We referenced Okur being a former All-Star representing the Jazz in the 2007 All-Star game in Las Vegas. Howard over Kirilenko. Losing the rebound.
Kirilenko's just so long on defense. That's a tough angle to shoot, and that's a tough guy to shoot over the top of.
He misses everything though on that end of the floor. He is shooting the ball well this year, just not shooting nearly as much as he has in the past. Dirk posting up Boozer. Draws a foul with 1:40 gone by in the third. And an early change being made by Dallas. Devin George in for Josh Howard. We haven't talked much about this, but this has not been the best of nights for Howard, who is 1 of 8 from the floor, having scored only 3 points.
Boy, and he's been playing so well over the last 2 weeks that sort of surprises you in this game tonight. But Kirilenko, who's playing him defensively, very good defensive player.
Might be something wrong. He's going back to the locker room. You know, he went and sat on the bench, and the first person who came to talk to him was athletic trainer Casey Smith. And he disappears into the back corridor. Meanwhile, free throws for Dirk put Dallas up by 7. Howard had been averaging nearly 27 a game over the last 8. But just 1 of 8 tonight. And with an unknown malady of some sort at this time. Offensive rebound for Okur, and he got fouled after the missed layup by Darren Williams. And of course, this is homecoming for Darren Williams. Born in Parkersburg, West Virginia, but moved to the Metroplex at the age of 3. And went to middle school in Carrollton and high school at the Colony. This is when Josh went to the bench. Casey Smith, with his back to us, is talking to Howard, the athletic trainer.
Just wonder if he doesn't feel good or something, because watching him walk back through the tunnel didn't look like he was limping.
Right.
Anything like that.
There was a look of discomfort about him, which is why you might think, that it could be stomach problem or something along those lines. We'll find out as soon as we know. We'll see if our armchair medical analysis turns out to be. That's a beautiful move. That was great, bisecting the lane, getting into the paint to score.
Nice little floater over the top, little finger roll in there, a la George Gervin.
Devin George, the defender against Kirilenko. Three-pointer Okur, that's his third one of the game. And he had another basket where he had a toenail on the three-point line. So the long shots have been falling tonight for the native of Turkey. His 6th year in the league. Dirk misses, and Utah has got Dallas in their sights now. They've pulled it within 4. Handoff to Darren Williams, and Jason Kidd is called for the foul. Pat Fraser said when he went down, he tripped Darren Williams.
Yeah, Jason Kidd tried to take the charge that time. They didn't call it right there, and then as Darren Williams turned to come back out, little trip on Jay Kidd. kid's pretty good position right there.
That play they were trying to run, another staple play of Utah's offense. Throw it down to the post, by the way, and have that the guard on the jet cut.
Yeah, either that or the split. They're not running as many splits this year as they have in the past, but it's one they always liked.
Dirk makes it a half-dozen-point lead. And again, the rate of production tonight is most impressive as Kirilenko barely turns in time to catch the pass. Dirk has 18 points, and he has played almost 19 minutes. 5 on the shot clock. It's Williams trying to create into the lead. Brewer going to the bucket to slam it.
Boy, nice pass by Williams that time. Jason Terry's really done a nice job on Derek Williams tonight. Not a lot of open looks, not a lot of freedom out there.
Terry misses, Boozer rebounds. Terry and Darren Williams each only have 2 points in this game. Williams is 1 of 6, Terry is 1 of 3. Here's Devin George guarding Williams on this trip. Second basket of the game, 2 of 7 now for Darren Williams. And Utah don't look now, but they've been able to grind their way back into this game. It's a 2-point contest. Dampier keeps it alive after the Dirk miss. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Long pass to Kidd. Dirk against Brewer. Kidd from the outside. Utah could take the lead on this trip down the floor. They don't take many threes. 26th in the league in three-point attempts per game. It's just 13 per contest. They don't take one there. Boozer misses. Had a great pass up to Devin George. On the break, Dallas slips out in front of the Utah defense to get the hoop.
Boy, and just out of the outstretched hands of Ronnie Brewer. Looked like he got a fingertip on it, but it still got to Devin George.
That was a J-Kid special to get the ball up the floor like that. 6th assist of the game. Williams to Kirilenko. A 1-point game midway through the third. And now Kirilenko, who was the victim of a flagrant foul from Dirk. He was the defender, and Dirk going to find a pair going right to the rim.
So that's a mix-up on the Utah defense right there. JT made the pass and cut, and Brewer just stood there and watched them cut.
Here's a lob pass. Kirilenko did catch it. Dampier went after it. Kirilenko makes the catch and finish. And a timeout taken here by Dallas. 16-10. Utah's outscored the Mavericks here in the third quarter. And it's got Utah on the doorstep. 10 days at 4-1. That 4-1 record, Brad, represents Dallas' play since March 31st as George gets the loose ball there. That was the day when Dallas found themselves in a 3-way tie with Denver and Golden State as Dirk gets a big bucket. Those three were tied for 7, 8, 9. We talked about it coming on the air that night in Los Angeles before the Clipper game. It was a 9-game sprint to the finish, and Dallas did a better job getting out of the starting block than Denver and or Golden State, and that's why they're on the cusp of a playoff bid.
Yeah, they really did, and they got wins when they needed to.
Now, this is an important one tonight. They've got a chance to clinch a spot officially tonight. But they found themselves in a real battle here with the Utah Jazz as the Jazz have ramped it up here in the third quarter. Out of the timeout, Dirk scored on the last trip, and now he draws a foul. No basket there. With 4:34 to go in the third, the call on Mehmet Okur. Okur with his first. Utah's second team foul. Paul Millsap in for Mehmet Okur. Remember, these are the magic numbers. And Denver's leading Golden State, as you would expect, a high-scoring game, BD, 83-80. The Nuggets on top in the third quarter.
Yeah, probably not a lot of defense being played out there in Golden State.
And that's late in the third. Brandon Bass has come in for Dirk. 8 on the shot clock. Jason Kidd going after it. Trying to get back the rebound of his own miss. Foul on Kidd, his second. Mavericks third team foul. Went out of the game just a moment ago. Managing his minutes, still a big priority for Avery Johnson. As Avery even commented before the game tonight, he said until Dirk has a chance this offseason to get significant rest, he doesn't think he'll be 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because Dirk came back so quickly with that ankle. It's still sore, and he's not going to get much rest. The only good thing is with the playoffs, especially the first round, you've got some time between games.
They will space out the first round as Darren Williams did a nice job of slashing to the basket and scoring. Lineup for Dallas: Kidd, Eddie Jones, Devin George, Brandon Bass, Eric Dampier. Kidd for the weak side, comes up way short. Mavs thought there was a foul there. And Utah shoots for the lead.
Martin Brad, Josh Howard has a bruised right knee. He will be coming back out and is available to play.
Well, it's certainly good to hear that. Roddy Brewer puts Utah in front for the first time since early in the game. As a matter of fact, 2-0 is the only time Utah led tonight. Bass against Millsap. Try Bass. Tough move.
Boy, and a strong move that time. Karolinko came down to try to help up, and Brandon Bass went through both of them and drew the foul. Millsap playing him awful tight. Beats him baseline right here. Here comes Karolinko. Just a strong right move right there.
Millsap committing his third foul in 11 minutes. And Brandon Bass to put Dallas in front. Well, I'm glad to hear the Howard injury situation isn't serious. I'm surprised to hear that that's what it was, a bruised right knee. Because like you said, when he went back to the locker room, we didn't see him limping or favoring his right leg. But there he is. He has come back out. Dallas regains the lead. They lost it for a possession. Third lead change of the game. Williams loses it out of bounds. 13 on the shot clock and 2:57 remaining in the third quarter. There's a timeout on the floor. At our last timeout, Dallas led it by 1. That's still the case. 61-60, Dallas in front. You're watching Mavericks Game Night on TXA 21.
Well, I don't miss much if it happens on the dance hall floor. Murphy, look what you want to that
Game number 79 of the year tonight. 2 more on the road, 1 more at home after this. Utah has already wrapped up the Northwest Division, but still fighting to have a better record than their potential first-round opponents, so they have home court advantage. They may be seeded 4th right now, but if the season ended now, Houston would be the team that would have home court because they have a 1-game better record than Utah. All those two teams have to play next week in Salt Lake. The Jazz go back in front of the Darren Williams hoop out of the timeout. He had 2 at the half. He scored 6 this quarter. Ball out of bounds, 15 on the shot clock. The Jazz this year on the road have had their share of struggles. 17-22, their road record. Same road record as Dallas, as a matter of fact. Bass finally finds Devin George going going to the bucket. Lost it a little bit on the way up, so not able to dunk it. He was fouled. Fouls on Ronnie Price, and George will go to the line.
He had a nice dive cut by Devin George right here. You're going to see the double team right here on Brandon Bass. Devin George sees the opening right down the middle. Good pass by Brandon Bass. Little bounce pass in there. Devin George draws a foul.
Tonight, game number 50 for Devin George. And this is his 31st and 32nd free throw attempts. And made 20 of his first 30 coming into tonight. And hits those two, and so the Mavericks seesaw back and forth. Harpring has come into the game. He was effective in his first half minutes off the bench. Ronnie Price trying to break down the defense. Somehow Millsap got a hold of it inside, missed twice, and Eddie Jones with a rebound.
2 minutes.
Defended again by Millsap. Defensive 3 seconds to call on Utah with 1:50 remaining in the third. A technical foul and a free throw attempt coming up for the Mavs.
Yeah, Ronnie Price was trying to help out, but never got out of the lane, never cleared the lane to try to come back in.
3 of the top 20 free throw shooters in the NBA are on the Mavericks. Jerry Stackhouse is 7th. Dirk is 10th at 87.8%. Jason Terry's 20th at 85.3% as he just hit.
And watch Ronnie Price here. He's going through right there with Jason Terry. He's going to come back and try to double team. Gets caught in no man's land. Never cleared the lane. Easy call for the referees.
Josh Howard back in after missing about 8.5, 9 minutes of the third quarter here with a bruised right knee. Terry, a three-pointer. Oh, into that string music for Jason Terry. His first three-point hoop of the game, and Dallas is 5th as a team.
Yeah, and they snapped it back once again against that zone defense from Utah.
Terry's got 8 points all in this quarter, and the Mavs are in front by 5. Ronnie Price with his first basket. In limited minutes, Price averages 4 points, about 9.5 minutes a game, although getting more minutes and consequently producing more as of late. 9 points per game over the last 4 for Price. Josh Howard, the pass goes upstairs to Hall in. Then Devin George gets to the paint, doesn't get the roll. Millsap clears the glass. We're in the last minute of the third. A long pass up ahead to Williams, fighting Matt Harpring, sliding up the baseline.
Boy, he really threaded the needle on that bounce pass from half court all the way under the basket.
The lead is 1 for Dallas. Howard loses the handle on the dribble, and Harpring got to the loose ball. Booted it into the backcourt and then recovered for the Jazz. Seconds remaining in the third. Dallas does have a foul to give for the last 20 seconds if they want to go that route. Darren Williams got it. He looked to dunk it and missed. And the Mavericks get the rebound. Brandon Bass slows it up. Looks for someone to get the ball to, and he finds Terry. 6 seconds. No foul again. Terry. He's got to get a move on. Launches the deep wing. We're through 3. And it is a 67-66 Dallas advantage over the Jazz.
And just what you expected. Utah got down early, but they came back just like Dallas did in the 2 games up in Salt Lake City.
So who will take the fourth quarter? We'll find out in a moment here on TXH 21. Bob Ortega will join us for post-game analysis. Here we go. Tyronn Lue, Jason Terry, Devin George, Juwan Howard, Dirk Nowitzki, the quintet on the floor to start the fourth quarter for the Mavericks. Howard playing in career game number 998. Sets the screen for Jason Terry. Terry gets into the lane. Will he get the bounce? No. Mehmet Okur there for the rebound.
Good penetration off the screen and roll, though. JT got deep in the teeth of that defense. Just couldn't get it to go.
The Mavericks over the last week have demonstrated an improved ability to close out games. They had a big rally against the Phoenix Suns on Sunday afternoon. And then, as you would expect against a team of the Sonics caliber, the Mavericks were able to gain a great deal of separation against Seattle in the fourth quarter and put the game away. So there is growing evidence that Dallas is working through some of their recent growing pains in terms of closing out games against teams, good or bad. And we'll see if that evidence is on display tonight, as the first basket of the fourth quarter is scored by Mehmet Okur.
And they did it in two different ways. In Phoenix, they did it with their defense in the fourth quarter, and against Seattle, they did it with their offense.
Mavs shot 63% of the fourth quarter against Seattle the other night. Devin George, three-pointer good, and Dallas just like that regains the lead, which they briefly lost.
Wide open three from the corner, D. George.
He's got 9 off the bench. He's had 2 of his 4 double-digit scoring games this year against the Jazz. Though in Salt Lake City, he had 13 in one game and 12 in another. On the drive, Matt Harpring, no. Tip-in, Millsap, no. And that ball's out of bounds to Dallas with 10:33 to go.
And that's one thing that Utah will do, get to the boards.
Mark, you and Brad were discussing how the Mavs have gotten their last couple of wins. And talking to Devin George before the game, he said all teams can help you get better. It's not just the elite teams that you can learn from. You can learn from all of them. He said one of the things that's going to help get us ready playing against the Jazz is they're physical and tough, and it's definitely going to be playoff intensity the entire game tonight.
On the drive, Dirk turned away. He's late to join the play, so the Jazz have a one-man advantage, but now Dirk gets back in on the defensive end of the floor. Korver's gone into the game, by the way, at the quarter break for Utah. Okur chased off the line, leaves for Korver, even with George right on him. Korver hits a 3.
Yeah, you can't give him any space at all. That's what he wants to do, float around that three-point line.
Kyle Korver, 111 made three-pointers this year. That includes 2 that he's hit this evening. Then to shoot for Tyronn Lue. Got 9.5 minutes to play. Lue is fouled. First in the quarter on Utah. The call on Ronnie Price's third. Here was Dirk taking it to the hoop before Korver's 3.
Went strong there. I'd say there's a little contact there.
On the right, wrists.
Heard the slap by Korver. Got a little bit of the ball, but got a lot of Dirk's wrist.
Jason Terry is fouled. I can assure you there's 20,000 officials in this building tonight that agree with you, because this place got pretty vocal.
Yeah, and they all got it right.
The guys that count did not, unfortunately.
Exactly.
George on the throw in, 9:20 to go. That'll happen though. See how Dallas deals with it. Dirk driving. This time he takes it to the hoop, can't get it to go. Millsap misses, Dirk rebounds. The biggest lead in this game tonight for Utah has been 2 points. Here's Terry to put Dallas in front.
Yeah, Juwan Howard did a nice job. He ran right in front of JT and cleared a little path for him when he crossed that over.
He plowed the road.
He did.
72-71. Timeout of the next dead ball. Price on the drive. The scoop gives Utah the lead. Double on Dirk, cross court Lue. Lue hit a couple of three-pointers against the Sonics the other night. It would be nice to get something from him here. He's got a big guy switched out on him in Millsap. Going to try to take him, but misses everything on the floater.
Millsap did a nice job defensively, really keeping him in front.
One starter out there. That's Okur. Corner, catches, shoots, hits. Scoring off the move, which is not really Korver's game. As you said, it's hanging out on the perimeter, spotting up at the three-point line. But Korver, a nice job to give Utah what is their biggest lead of the game, up by 3. It's a timeout on the floor. The Mavericks take it with 7:51 to go. 75-72, the Jazz on top. Candidate Chris Paul. But first things first, still 7:51 to play here tonight. And look at this on the Dallas Morning News NBA scoreboard. Denver on the road leads Golden State 101-90. A Golden State loss and a Dallas win means the Mavericks punch their ticket to the 2008 NBA playoffs tonight. Dirk back to Terry. Mavericks got Jason Kidd into the game with a timeout. Dirk pounded, got a shot away, quarter rebounds.
Utah played that pretty well defensively. That's a play they like to run out of the timeout with JT coming up through the middle for this little jump shot. Korver played it pretty well.
The Mavericks are 8 of 23 shooting here in the second half, while the Jazz are at 50%, 15 of 30. On the move, Terry. He attacks, he scores, and it's foul. Chance to tie it. Wow.
Boy, it went right into Ronnie Price that time, drew the contact and knocked it down.
All 12 of Jason Terry's points have come here in the second half, and he can even the score. Good job on the attack. Some emotion by Terry after the bucket. It was Ronnie Price picking up his fourth foul, and he's out of the game in favor of Darren Williams.
During that timeout, Avery Johnson looked at his team and he said, stay focused. This is your game all the way. And one more note, guys, Josh Howard is done with that bruised right knee.
Disappointing news to hear that.
Just hope it's not too serious. Not going to keep him out of those two games over the weekend.
Into the core, in the lane. That's a tough shot. Man. Wow.
He had to shoot that around Dirk on the side, sort of a leaner bank to him.
Into the core, a team-high 19 tonight for Utah. Utah has only 8 from Darren Williams and 7 from Carlos Boozer, but yet they still find themselves in front. Dirk down low. Shot clock at 3. Double. Jason Terry has to take it. Jason Kidd flying in for the offensive rebound. Dirk for the lead. Bingo! A 1-point Maverick lead on Dirk. 3-pointer. Now we're having some fun, aren't we?
And that's one of the few times here in the second half Dallas has gotten to the offensive board.
Darren Williams breaks down the defense and scores.
I think this might be what we'll see for the next 6 minutes. I think the offenses will get it in gear here down the stretch.
Back and forth.
Dallas again funnels the ball into the post to Dirk, and that foul is on the floor. Steve Javy said that foul was on the floor on Paul Millsap. Everyone here thinks that should count as a bucket. What do you think? Listen.
Never put it back down on the floor.
Well, we've seen that play called a continuation before, but not the case here. It is Dallas ball when we return.
And when you think about Utah's big guys hurting you, you think about Carlos Boozer inside, but Dallas has done a nice job on him tonight defensively.
That foul before the timeout was on the floor. It was the fourth in the quarter on Utah. It's Dallas ball. The next Utah foul gives the Mavericks free throws for the duration of the fourth. Dirk against Kyle Korver. Hartring on the double. Shot clock at 3. Terry pulls up. Dallas takes the lead anyway. They didn't get the continuation on that Dirk call, but they still get the deuce from Terry, and they edge back in front.
Yeah, ran a couple screens, got the switch they wanted, as JT was able to take Okoro off the dribble.
Okoro on the dribble, stripped by Terry. Dallas ball with numbers. Hit down Terry. He will go to the line. Fouled hard by Boozer. The shot wouldn't go. Boozer takes the foul, which is his third in the game. Remember that Josh Howard is already out for the game tonight. He went down here in the second half with a bruised right knee. And you have Jason Terry now being helped to his feet after a hard foul.
Here's a nice play by Jet right there. Gets in, pokes it away. Outlet the kid. Feeds Jason Terry right there on the run. Boy, JT took a hard spill into that stanchion underneath the basket.
Averaging 22 points a game over the last 5. Terry has 16 tonight, and again, the story is that they've all come here in the second half. Another look right at you.
Well, we talked about last game how durable Jason Terry is.
He is about to complete his 9th year in the NBA and has only missed 12 games. Very impressive. He's got 17, and now Dallas has crept in front by 3. Pick and roll, Boozer, left-hand dunk. He's fouled and can tie it.
Boy, that's one of the few times in this game that they've got that. Their favorite play right there, the pick and roll with the little slip pass from Williams.
And remember that Boozer is one of those right-handed players who has the ability to finish with his left hand, and he can do that as well as anyone in the league that's a right-handed player. Three-point play completed for the big man, who's in his 6th year in the league from Duke. 2 years with Cleveland, now in his 4th year with the Jazz. All square at 82. Under 5 to go. George set a back pick. Got Terry now with it from Dirk. Again, he attacks. Kirilenko blocks it. The loose ball comes out to the corner. It was off Utah with 5 on the clock.
Boy, Kirilenko is just so long. JT actually beat him on that play, but Kirilenko with his length was able to get a hand on that.
Inbounds to Dirk to beat the clock. He's fouled by Boozer. It took 23.87 seconds, it felt like, but Dirk made the move to get Boozer up in the air on the pump fake, and barely before the clock expires, the whistle blows.
Yeah, that's where Dirk is so good, though. He realizes how much time he's got left. He knew he had time for a pump fake, and if Boozer didn't go for it, he could still rise up, get it off in time.
Carlos Boozer with his 4th foul. Utah is over the limit. Remember that Dallas is playing, having only committed 2 team fouls here in the 4th quarter. So they can afford to be a little more aggressive defensively. You get caught in a bad spot, you've got a foul you could take. Dirk's free throws get him 25 points for the game. Averaging 22 on the floor since coming back from the injury. Darren Williams forced to the outside. Kirilenko will dunk. Utah really spread the floor that time.
Yeah, Dallas double-teamed Williams out way high, and Boozer was able to flash into the middle and make a little dump-on pass to Kirilenko cutting.
Shades of what the Lakers were able to do to Dallas when they double-teamed, when the Mavericks double-teamed Kobe so far out on the floor. Dirk gets doubled. Mavericks swinging. Devin George late in the clock, and he traveled.
Yeah, probably had the shot right away. Couldn't decide whether to shoot the ball or put the ball on the floor.
Keep in mind, Josh Howard has played very little here in the second half and is done for the night with a bruised right knee. Bad pass.
Pressure from Jason Kidd on Darren Williams that time. Wouldn't let him get it.
And now the Jazz were napping for a split second. Kidd almost caught him. But the Jazz do get back to set up defensively. Looking for a tie-breaking basket. Dirk drives. And that gets deflected to Dampier, and he'll go to the line with 3:34 to play. A quiet night for Eric Dampier. Dirk was complaining after this call or non-call.
Thought Boozer got him across the arm as he slapped that one away. Fortunately for Dallas, it bounced right to Eric Dampier, as good as a pass.
Kyle Korver's 4th foul. Dampier gets the roll. He has 3 points and 4 rebounds tonight. So some will look at that and say, well, there's been little production from Dampier tonight. I do think it's worth noting, though, that he's clogged up the middle, the place where the Jazz make their money by getting inside. He's done a good job in that regard.
Yeah, and he's played Carlos Boozer, and Boozer hasn't had a big game, really.
Boozer averaging just 13 a game over the last 3, averages over 21 a game this year, and tonight Boozer's had another quiet evening with only 10. Dampier, a 57% free thrower, made them both, and so Dallas again carves out a slim lead. Darren Williams, pestered by Kidd, underneath Kirilenko with his second straight dunk.
Dallas tried to take the ball out of Williams' hands once again with that double team.
What did I tell you a few minutes ago? Back and forth. That's what it's going to be down the stretch.
You called it.
Both teams are having a hard time getting stops. Spinning away from the double team. He'll score it with an and one.
That's going to be 5 on Carlos Boozer right there. He beat him to the baseline. Okor was coming over for the double team.
2:56 remaining. Boozer is one foul away from a DQ. Dirk's got a chance to give the Mavericks a 3-point advantage. He put him in front by 2. Working to the baseline, dribble away from fouls, and only 10 points. And looky there. The magic number is 2. A Dallas win, a Golden State loss. Means that the Mavericks clinch a playoff spot. And with 3:20 to go, Denver was up by 8. Oh, the free throw no good. The Mavericks have taken 23 free throws tonight. They've only missed 2. .43 to play. Williams against Kidd. Lost by Williams. Good D again by Kidd. Then he really crowds up on him late in the clock. A long 3. Oh, wow.
He was a good foot behind that 3-point line. Knew he had to take that one.
Darren Williams, a 40% three-point shooter this season. Connects from well beyond the arc with a shot clock winding down. Kidd to Dirk. Great catch in the lane. He got fouled. No call. One shot. And it's Utah ball with the lead, trying to build on it. Williams, no. And Devin George there with a defensive rebound. Oh, up to the big fella, Dampier, and he dishes it off to Jason Terry. Terry on the dribble drive, eyeballs the hoop, goaltended by Kirilenko. Dallas leads with 1:52 to go.
Yeah, Kirilenko got there late.
There aren't very many butts in the seats here at American Airlines Center. Most everyone on their feet
In this nip and tuck battle inside of 2 minutes.
Darren Williams came up limping after that drive to the basket. I don't know if he fell on his hip.
Oh, foul. Dallas did have that one to give. I'm assuming they will say that that was on the pass-off with 1:40 to go. Eric Dampier's second.
There's a drive by Williams right there. Looked like he landed on that right hip, right shoulder right there.
1:40 to play. Williams fighting through it. The Boozer. A basket gives Utah. Dampier blocks Boozer.
Dampier read that perfectly.
Back to Kidd. Some pass fakes, and then they repost Dirk. Going to Kidd. Tough pass. Knocked out by Korver with 9 on the shot clock at 1:14 remaining. Both teams have all of their timeouts for the last 74 seconds. They each have a full and 2 20s. And no fouls to give now either. Dallas had that foul to give. And it got picked up a moment ago. Jason Terry. In and out and almost back in, but tapped outside by Dampier. Dallas has the ball. Chewing up some clock as we reach 1 minute to play. As you would expect, the Mavericks put the ball in Dirk's hands. Cross court, Terry saved it back to Kidd. Late in the clock, Kidd, the drive, the kick. George caught it, the floater. Dirk keeps it alive. Loose ball, this is going to go out of bounds to Dallas with 42.9 to go.
Boy, 2 big offensive rebounds for Dallas that time. Dampier on the tip back. Dallas getting on the glass that time when it looked like Utah was going to get that rebound.
A timeout taken. I think this is a 20, is it not? 42.9 to go, 20-second timeout. Dallas with the ball, leading by 1. The ball goes out. Karolinko making the dive. You know, I think back to what Jerry Sloan said before the game tonight. I was talking to him about the fact that all these teams in the West have won 50 games, and Dallas is on the brink of joining that club. And he said, well, the only thing I really have to say about it is it just means that the fans are getting their money's worth every night. You know the teams are coming out and competing and playing great basketball. And he said, we, as a league, have a responsibility to the people who watch our products. And I would say that everyone who has watched the game tonight, including seeing Andrei Karolinko with that headfirst dive, have gotten their money's worth tonight.
Yeah, and it's been like that, it seems like, for the last 3 weeks, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's been playing playoff games for all that time. They just aren't officially called that. All right, Brad, it goes in quickly to Kidd. He works on Darren Williams. The Mavericks cling to a 1-point lead. And again, it's back to Nowitzki against Boozer. A double team. Dirk gets the ball. Dallas up by 3. No timeout. That's a typical page out of Sloan's book. 20 seconds to go. A one-possession game. Williams got a little loose for the 3. No. Okur steps back to the line with the offensive rebound. Still no timeout. Driving Williams. He's fouled.
Oh, no.
Score that.
That can't be a continuation.
Mark Wunderlich is scoring the basket with the foul.
And the referees are discussing it underneath. No basket.
No basket.
There you go.
My goodness. A riot was on the verge of breaking out if he counts that basket, I think.
Yeah.
Now, let us tell you, though, it does mean Utah will get free throws with 11.5 to go as Dallas is over the limit. And a good free throw shooter goes to the line. Darren Williams, 80%. Here it is.
There's a foul right there, that extra dribble right there.
Take a listen. Baker's already instructed the Mavericks that make or miss. This will be a timeout after the free throw. We get a very good offensive rebounder in the game, Paul Millsap for Utah. The Colony's Darren Williams in his 3rd year in the league from Illinois. The 3rd pick of the 2005 draft. He can make it a 1-point game. Mavericks have a full and a 20. They use the full. 11.5 remaining. Let's keep it here. It's too much fun to go away.
And
Full timeout taken by Dallas. We have kept an eye on Oakland all night long. The final score, Denver 114, Golden State 105. Dallas's magic number is 1.
11.5, actually. 11.5 seconds.
A win tonight for the Mavericks means Dallas clinches a spot in the NBA playoffs and wins their 50th game. What a tremendous 8 years it has been. You know, Brad, growing up here and watching the first years of the Mavericks, and obviously, you know, you'll be familiar with what the philosophy was. I remember Dick Motta and Norm Sonju and Rick Sund. They preached and preached that 50 was the bar, 50 was the benchmark that made you an elite team when you got to 50 wins. And for whatever reason, that number has always stuck to me. And that's why I think, you know, seeing what Dallas has done for these last 7 years and now about to be 8 of 50 straight wins, hopefully tonight they can bring this home. That just means so much to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, anytime you can win 50 games in the season means you're doing something well, either playing well at home like Dallas has done this year or playing well on the road as well, because that's a lot of wins. 50 out of 82 games is a lot of wins.
And, of course, another part of those early years when the goal was to get to 50 wins, former Maverick majority owner Don Carter watching from his courtside seat. 50's not in the bag yet, though, Brad. They've still got 11 and a half agonizing seconds to get it there.
Yeah, they've got to get it in first.
And Kidd is looking and looking. They still have a timeout, and he takes it. That's their last timeout now. A 20.
It's a 20. It's a quick timeout. Quick, grab it, leave it, go.
A well-defended inbounds play. Let's see what Utah did to prevent Dallas from getting the ball inbound.
Well, they're trying to get it to Dirk right here. Dirk was going to try to get to that corner, but they sent two guys to cover him right there.
Now the Mavericks are out of timeouts. Utah has all of their timeouts. Veteran move by Juwan Howard. Coming out of the huddle, he made sure to tell everybody he was playing coach on the floor. At that point, he said, no timeouts, no timeouts.
Doesn't hurt to have two or three people tell you that.
Jason Kidd's not going to forget that, though. Into the backcourt to Jason Terry, trying to get away from Kirilenko and run some time off the clock. When those plays are happening at live speed, you always feel like more time runs off the clock than in reality does. I was surprised to see that only 2.1 seconds came off the clock. That's where you need that home cooking of the clock operator.
Yeah, exactly. Started as soon as the pass goes in.
Strategy session with Avery and Jason Kidd. Jason Terry on the line. Boozer in for Millsap. Utah has all of their timeouts. For a 3-point lead. Terry with all 21 of his points in the second half. Now Utah will take a timeout. It is a 20-second timeout for Jerry Sloan.
9.4 seconds. Utah dribbles this ball long enough with Darren Williams. What do you think? You foul him in there if that clock gets down under 6 seconds?
Well, I think John Calipari would agree with you.
I think he would too.
After the events of Monday, I would say he would recommend that. Well, that's what's going to happen. You can just see Avery.
Make sure you keep your eye on O'Core. Make sure you definitely keep your eye on Kyle Korver. You don't want him running free for an open three.
Korver, O'Core, and Darren Williams are all 40% three-point shooters. They're all right in that neighborhood, and Kirilenko is not far off the pace at 38%. Now, if Utah gets in a pickle here, Kirilenko has two timeouts to use. 9.4 to go. They'll put Dirk on the inbounds pass. Kirilenko looking to Darren Williams. He maneuvers away from Devin George. Backed it in. I don't believe it. No timeout for Dallas. 5 seconds to go. Dirk from the left wing. It's in the corner to go. A three. Timeout Utah.
What a series. What a 9-second series right there.
Seconds remaining. Dallas 97, Utah 94. Let's go for the inbounds pass at 9.4. Into Darren Williams.
Trying to draw the foul that time on Devin George.
Eddie Jones quickly gets it up the floor. Dirk, boom. How about that? And again, a great job by Eddie Jones, knowing no timeouts, right up the floor, no hesitation, no panic, no freak out factor. They find Dirk, and he steps into it, and he's got 32.
Yeah, and he was actually pretty wide open on that wing running down the court. Utah had a little trouble matching up, going back in transition.
By the way, that gives Dallas 32 fast break points for the game. 0.9 to go now, Brad. Kirilenko to take the ball out of bounds. The Jazz have a 20 remaining. That is enough time. 0.3 is the limit, so 0.9 is time to get off the shot.
Yeah, but if somebody catches the ball, you want to make sure you grab him before he gets in that shooting motion.
Kirilenko to Williams, and that shot is no good, and it's over. It's all over in downtown Dallas. The Mavericks are going to the NBA playoffs for the 8th straight year.
Boy, and what a finish. Playoff finish.
Number 50 for the Dallas Mavericks. 97-94. The Mavericks defeat the Utah Jazz. They are in the NBA playoffs.